Before this even begins, I want to open up and say Kendrick is winning right now. But it's 2-1 Kendrick. And I'm going to tell you why it's 2-1 Kendrick. Push-Ups was a hit against Kendrick. Drake put out 2 songs, Push-Ups and that AI one. The AI one was a jab. That wasn't a full hit. However, Push-Ups, all the hits that Drake made at Kendrick, that was a hit. We'll give that one to him. Now, in terms of their warning shots and their strategic play tracks, we've got the Like That verse and we've got the AI track. Those jab warning shots, which one do I deem to be better? I'm saying Like That. It was a strategic play from Drake to put out the AI one. I don't think the AI one hit Kendrick as hard as it appeared to at the time, because that was more of antics. That was more of trying to poke the bear's nest or the lion's nest or whatever the saying is, the bee's nest or what. I don't even know. So up until that point, I still feel like Drake had a little bit of the edge, but they were still kind of neck and neck. Now Kendrick's come out and he swung. It's a connecting hit, and this is a harder hit than Push-Ups. Therefore, I'm seeing it as a 2-1 scenario in terms of how many hits they've got off on each other and like what they've both done to each other. I believe right now it's like a 2-1 type of matchup right now. I want to also say a lot of people in this beef are going to be hard Team OVO Dick Riders, or they're going to be PG Langers, okay? I don't want to conform too much to one or the other side, but I do want to say that I know in this beef, Drake is the one people want to see bleed out. People don't want to see Drake do well, but there is one thing we have to get out of the way and on the record, is that this would not be nearly as interesting if Drake wasn't putting up a good fight, because we all know rapping ability wise, as we're going to get into a little bit, Kendrick rapping ability wise is just going to wash Drake. He just does. But Drake's Push-Ups track had a lot of good retorts, had to clap back at a lot of people and addressed it to how he needed to, and he been on Kendrick's ass. He been on his ass, which is what we needed. So I'm gonna put that out of the way. I'm gonna say that Drake is doing what he needs to do. Seems raring to go. He's got that fire up his ass, so I know for sure he will respond by this week or within a week, so within 7 days. I think latest Drake is going to respond is going to be Friday, because I think he's probably got enough material for a track and he probably wants to expose more. But that being said, the way this Kendrick track is produced and sounds exactly how everyone is feeling. The synthetic horns, the bells, the trumpets, the beat switches. He came with 3 of them. Y'all noticed that? This song sounds like what everyone was feeling. He's here. The fight is finally on. We're finally seeing the beef unfold between our eyes. That is how this song sounds, and he delivers. Okay, this track is great. This is another track that you can come back to loads of times and just enjoy the energy, the performance. It's a great track. Same with Push-Ups as well. Push-Ups is another track I can come back to, and this is what we like to see in these beefs. It's not gonna get physical, no one's gonna get hurt. We're in it for the music, and I like that they're also prioritizing making good fucking music, man. This is good music. Straight away, I've already got some crazy speculation with just the opening line, which is in reverse, which says everything they say about me is true in reverse. And Kendrick is known to reverse his lyrics, as he's done it all over Damn. And what is interesting is that this is from a Wizard of Oz play, and the full line that is spoken is everything they say about me is true, I'm a phony. Now this could be alluding to how, you know, Drake is kind of like this phony rapper, like trying to fit in, like Kendrick sees him as a fake. Basically he fraud. Drake's a numbers guy, but there's not much to him. He's just a fraud. But I also think that there might be a little something else behind this, because I think that this is also a way of Kendrick saying everything that they say about me, like I'm the boogeyman, I'm the one you don't want smoke, that's me. But on the other hand, I think, and this is me speculating, maybe, just maybe, Kendrick is aware that Drake has something. It might not be career ending, but it might be how he chooses to attack him in the next track. And I believe Kendrick may know that, and so he's almost saying, yeah, Whatever you know about me is true. Almost kind of pre-admitting to anything that might be said about him before it's even said, without him having to actually come out and address what it is. It's kind of like owning his scars, essentially. I think that's what it could be, but whatever it is, I don't think it's going to be like super career ending. But Drake has some stuff on Kendrick. I'm hoping so. Drake cannot win off rapping ability alone. Kendrick is just too crazy on the mic. Drake needs to create a moment, and he needs to create shock factor to get another clean hit in. Bearing in mind, if this next Drake track is not up to par, if it isn't a showstopper, Kendrick's next one will end him. So this next one from Drake is very important. Anyway, he kind of opens up the verse talking about Drake's gonna create all these narratives because he heard Kendrick's last album, basically clapping back at Drake, alluding to his wife and his marriage not being super stable, which is interesting. He kind of dismantles Drake's calculative aura, this chess moves that everyone's been claiming, like, yo, Drake is playing chess and Kendrick is just not being able to keep up. Kendrick's come out and said, not as calculated as I can predict all your angles. Basically saying, you're predictable. Like, I don't even need a calculator. Like, you're a manipulator. You're gonna make up some shit about me and then just dangle that in front of everyone like a carrot and everyone's gonna believe it because you're Drake. Nah. It's not calculated, it's false calculations, which is interesting, which is very, very interesting, because now Drake has to step up to the plate and prove if he's right or not. He also talks about like kind of breaking down Drake's character, saying that how I make music that electrify him, you make music that pacify him. I can double down on that line, but spare you this time. That's a random act of kindness, which is interesting because he's basically threatening to completely dismantle Drake, not only as an artist, as a person. I can see through your music and you, and I can break that down, but I'm not going to, because he's got so much more ammo on him. That's when the beat kicks in, he hypes himself up. The verse is crazy. Everyone want to be a demon till you get chipped by your throwaway. Basically like a double play on words, where Drake was referring to himself as a demon in at the end of Push-Ups, and he's kind of saying now you'll get thrown away, but also talking about, well, the rapper Future's middle name is Demon, and one of his songs is called Throwaway, so it's like a double entendre there. He also alludes to Drake supposedly paying off someone that claims sexual assault against him, when he talks about, have you ever paid $500K to make the case go away? I came out straight. I hate when a rapper talk about guns and somebody die, they turn into none, hop online like pray for my city. So basically I'm pretty sure Drake ended up having like a few cases where he got into an altercation years ago and then spoke about it, basically about how he wanted to kind of be the bigger man, and drops the case against the people that kind of had violence against him. But essentially Kendrick is kind of calling this out and saying, well, you want to kind of raise awareness and talk about how all these real situations hit the fan and hit you, and talk about all this stuff, or happy to kind of still glorify it and profit over it. And I mean, I guess Kendrick isn't shy to talking about this material in his music either, but I guess with him there's always that kind of conscious element of it. He's not doing it for profit, he's doing it to tell a story. And I guess that's also something that Kendrick has really been going for, is that there's this kind of phony element to Drake's music, because then goes on again in this verse talking about faking for likes and digital hugs. His daddy a killer, he wanna be junior, they must have forgot the shit they done. Dementia running his family, but let it get shaky, I park your son. Like, that is crazy. So basically calling him out again, saying everything you do is for validation, Drake. Everything you've put out is to generate hype, you're trying to cause a moment, but it's all digital hugs. Like, my city don't love you like that. Not only for that, Drake's dad is also a musician, I believe, but basically saying he's more of a gangster than you must be forgetting because you got dementia. Let it get shaky, I park your son. Basically he's getting misconstrued, like basically saying to Drake, you're not the killer, you're a pussy, I park your son, as in when it runs into the family, he'll G-check anyone in his family and park them. He'll shut them down. But also saying like that to Drake as in park his son. Let it get shaky, Parkinson's disease, when you like can't help but shake. So he's basically just done a whole scheme there, basically calling him a fake, a phone, and that doesn't matter which one, his family, like, it doesn't matter if your dad's the G, I'ma park you or your son. Y'all are shaky. It's a crazy bar. Drake supposedly bought Tupac's ring. Kendrick actually addresses this and says, somebody told me they got the ring. On God, I'm ready to double that wage. Rather do that than let Kanye make Pac turn in his grave. He's ready to just pay double because he's just like, I rather just buy that out than have Tupac turning in his grave at the fact that you, out of all people, own that, like some sort of status symbol. Like, give it to people that actually care about it. But here's why Kendrick is just a little bit of, no, not a little bit, just above Drake. He's got so many lines that he's delivering with almost like a level of sass to him that I feel like Drake is gonna find really hard to match. There's just so much nuance in this, because then he says, cutthroat Brunners, got your shit twisted, was it the braids? It's just those subtle jabs at even his appearance, like, oh, is Drake tight now because he's got braids? Like, does Drake think he's a hard man now that his hair's changed? It's just these kind of lines that are just so clever and just almost effortless, that are like not only a jab at his appearance but a jab at it. I just think it's just hard to match. However, we'll have to see, and I don't want to count Drake out. There's 3 goats left, and I see 2 of them kissing and hugging on stage. I love them to death, and in his 8 bars I explains that phrase. So it's weird. Okay, so Kendrick is kind of acknowledging that they are of a status. It's not like he's diffusing it. He's kind of saying, yeah, you guys are great. But then he goes on to say, it's nothing nobody can tell me. I don't want to talk on no celly. You know, I got language barriers. There's no accent you can sell me. And she's saying, you can't call me, we don't speak the same language. When you're talking to Kendrick, you're talking to a king, basically. And it says, yeah, Cole and Aubrey know I'm selfish, this crown heavy. I pray my real friends, if not Y and W Melly. Now, this is the only time Cole kind of gets brought up and thrown into the mix in this whole diss track. Basically, he's saying that him and Drake are too buddy-buddy. He's like, yeah, get a room, you guys are too kissy-kissy. Kind of like a little poke at him being like gay or something like that, which he also gets into later. But he kind of takes a step back and says, look, I hope you guys know this is just for the sport, because if not, I would really have to kill you guys. If this isn't on wax, you guys are getting waxed, essentially. Oh, damn, I'm spitting bars, but this is the only time Cole gets brought up, and I think this is a fair retort, to be honest. I think that it leaves Cole the opportunity to hear this and go, well, okay, cool, me and Kendrick are cool, because Kendrick hopes we're cool, therefore we are. Whereas Drake, this would come off a bit more tongue-in-cheek towards Drake, as these guys clearly don't like each other. So for Drake to hear this, it kind of is a clever line for both of these 2 artists to hear it, because Cole will probably interpret this as, oh damn, I'm in the clear, whereas Drake's like, oh, this guy, he really wants to kill me. I don't like you popping shit at Pharrell for him, I inherit the beef. Yeah, fuck all that pushing P, let me see you push a T. Now, this is interesting actually, because Drake sent shots at Pharrell on Meltdown on Travis Scott's album, and I don't know, was this kind of a driving factor for Kendrick to kind of get his back up? Because think about it, they've been throwing subliminals years at each other, and it wasn't until something really got Kendrick to kind of really get his back up and be like, now you know what, I'm gonna send more than a sub, I'm gonna send us a jab, a real shot. And I'm wondering, was it this? Because at what point in his career does Kendrick really have a valid reason to do this if all they've been doing is sending shots to each other? I just find it interesting. Has a line about pushing P and then pushing T, that's a double meaning, basically saying, oh, instead of pushing P for all these gunner references, I don't know, let me see Pusha T ended him. Also, when you get killed, you get put on a t-shirt, so it's also like, let me see you kill someone. This ain't been about critics, not gimmicks, not about who the greatest. It's always about love and hate. Now let me say I'm the biggest hater. I hate the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you dress, the way you sneak this. If I catch a flight, it's gonna be direct. You hate the bitches you fuck because they confuse themselves over real. I notice I said we, it's not just me, it's what the culture feeling. How many more fairy tale stories about your life till you've had enough? How many more black features till you feel black enough? I like Drake with the melodies, I don't like Drake when he act tough. That whole thing is basically, I do not like you. Kendrick spun round and really went, Also, does he allude to Drake really being gay? Because they confuse himself with real women. I took it as in like real women, as in he be messing around with a lot of these IG models who like, they're not really real, they're kind of fake in the sense that they might have a lot of plastic surgery, so they're like plastic, they're fake, but also like they're not real, like they're just there for your money. they're fake. Kendrick kind of like goes on to talk about how like Drake likes to be in the eye of the public. He absorbs this persona of like being popular and famous, and just like, it's just lame to me. Like, it's just lame. Drake and Yachty have been very, very buddy. Yachty's even been ghostwriting for Drake. He says he even hates the way he says nigga, but that's just me, I guess. Kendrick really just said, "You posted cringe, Drake." But anyway, the line that really got me intrigued was, "Surprised you wanted the feature request. You know we got some shit to undress." Now this got me thinking, was Kendrick gonna be on For All the Dogs? And more specifically, do you think he was gonna be on First Person Shooter? Because I'm thinking Drake probably wanted to do like a track with all three of them on, him, Cole and Kendrick. I think that's maybe what the plan was, if I had to speculate. Because what other just solo Kendrick Drake song would there have been, and Drake wanting to work together, unless it was for a reason? And I think that First Person Shooter song was probably gonna be it. So I do think that maybe Drake reached out. I mean, there's also the fact that his single What's Next that came out in 2021 originally had Baby Keem on it. So obviously Drake's kind of cool in that sense with Keem to kind of get like a reference or a feature from him. So maybe it wouldn't have been hard to extend the hand out to Kendrick and been like, "Hey, do you want to do a song together?" But the two haven't really seen eye to eye for like the past 10 years. So yeah, Kendrick was like, the fact that you even asked me was weird. It's like, no, of course I'm not. You think I'm just gonna say yes? No. Kendrick then says that Drake is zesty. He's going in on the fact that he stands next to Sexy Red. I believe you see two bad bitches. That is such a funny line, because it's almost like a common known thing now that Drake just be acting zesty. So the fact that Kendrick even remembered to come at him for this was just kind of hilarious. Tried to send a cease and desist on the Like That record. Ho, what? You ain't like that record? Back to back? I like that record. I'm gonna get back to that for the record. That is interesting the way he says it, because it's like, first of all, Drake sent a cease and desist. Salty, soft, what the fuck? Like, even if that's not true, that's like some funny tea to just drop in a song. And then he says, "Back to back, I like that record. I'ma get back to that for the record." As if to just say, back to back was cute though. I like that. Like, I would never do something like that. But is he also alluding to how he's gonna do a back to back? He's like, back to back, I like that. And the way he says it was like, I like that record. He said it in a way where it's like, you can take what he said at the surface value, but his tone is implying so much more. It's like, what does he mean by I like that record? I'm gonna get back to that. As in, like, is he gonna copy it in a way? Is he like, yo, you made a club hit this record, I'm gonna do that for the next one? Ain't 20v1, it's a 1v20. If I gotta smack niggas that right, yeah, bring them out too. I'll clear him out too. Tell Beam that he better stay right with you. Am I battling a ghost or AI? Nigga, he flips the narrative of Drake having to 20v1 everyone in his last song, and he's like, "What do you mean 20v1? You've got 20 ghostwriters. I'm the one that's 20v1ing." And he addresses one of Drake's ghostwriters by name. He says, "Tell Beam that he better stay right with you." Now, addressing one of the ghostwriters by name is a crazy move, because it lets Drake know Kendrick's like that. He's right there. He got eyes on him. So the fact that he's addressed one of Drake's diss writers by name, I think, is also just making it more scary for Drake, because it's like, oh shit, he knows who be writing with me. I mean, Drake can publicly deny it, but only Drake knows, and I think Kendrick knows that. So by addressing him by name is a great move. So basically ends by saying, "Listen, I've got more fuel in the tank. You said you got more fuel in the tank. You want to go another round? What's up?" And I think this was a perfectly good clap back, all things considered. Look, at the end of the day, I don't want to make excuses for Drake. His last track, he had to address a lot of people coming at him at once. Therefore, it was a 20v1 type of track, but most of his ammo was aimed towards Kendrick. Kendrick's now had the advantage, because everyone knows in this kind of scenario, whoever plays their first move, the person responding has a bit of an easier time. First person has to lay the blueprint of like, okay, how deep are we going? What are we saying? Kendrick has an easy stance from this point, because he just has to match what Drake's saying and just retort it. The problem was that people didn't think Drake would have that ammo to even respond to what Kendrick said on the Like That verse, but he did when he said about the line about what's a king to a son, stuff like that. You know, I think Drake proved himself. Nah, I got lines, and the whole Swiftie and Maroon 5 things, which by the way wasn't addressed in this. So I think for the most part, I think Drake really does go crazy and actually have a good pen game like when he really needs to, but right now Kendrick's retort was just too good. It's just too aggressive, too hype. He came out as Drake's character. He's also dismantled Drake's kind of chess playing game aura. Like, you know, he's kind of come at him basically saying, listen, like, you're trying to act like this mastermind, but I know exactly what you're doing. Basically, yeah. It's predictable, you're lying. So now Drake has to prove, in order to win, he's not lying by dropping the info. It's crazy, but this was perfectly good. I think this was a clean hit, but it was laid up for Kendrick. We all knew Kendrick had it in him to make a clean hit. Now we just have to really wait and see what Drake's got on him, because I know Drake's been like drop for about 50 bag for the mob. Yeah, but yeah, 2-1 right now. I'm saying 2-1 right now. Kendrick is in the lead. He's got a better first hit and his warning shots were better. Therefore, I want to give Kendrick 2 points, and I'll give Drake a point for push-ups right now. This is getting interesting though. Let me know what you guys think. Leave it in the comment section below, and we're gonna keep covering this. I'm giving Drake 7 days. Peace.